On August 13, 2026, Bentley named a new head of exterior design. Exactly 6 weeks later, on September 23rd, the company revealed the Torcal, its very first fully electric car. If you look at this timeline comparing his start date to the launch, you see a tiny 6-week window. A standard automotive production cycle takes years. You do not draw, surface, tool, and sign off a 5-meter SUV in a month and a half. The honest reading of the situation is that the new chief inherited a massive physical product he had absolutely no hand in shaping. We tend to imagine an incoming design leader sitting down with a blank sketchbook to invent the future of a brand. In reality, the engineering blueprint is already there, and it bleeds right through the paper. If the people leading these studios aren't actually drawing the cars they launch, we misunderstand what a head of design actually does. This 3D model reveals the underlying structure. The Torcal uses Volkswagen's PPE platform, shared with the Porsche Cayenne. This platform dictates exact vertical space. Floor height and battery depth are locked before anyone drafts a sketch. Finally, the wheelbase is rigidly defined by shared engineering. These hidden mechanical commitments finalize the vehicle's core proportions. The physical boundaries of the car are closed before a single line of styling is drawn. This dynamic is playing out across the industry. Look at this scene from Monterey Car Week, where McLaren showcased a new concept car amidst a massive executive restructuring. That vehicle, the McLaren 6 GT, features strict analog commitments, most notably a manual gearbox. A manual transmission isn't a styling detail you can add at the end of a project. It requires a dedicated central tunnel, a specific pedal box, and a mechanical linkage routed all the way through the cabin. Those spatial requirements take up massive physical real estate, meaning they must be firmly committed to during the earliest concept phases. Whoever wins the power struggle on the corporate organizational chart will be managing a car whose physical argument closed years before that chart was drawn. At Bentley, there is a final layer of constraint coming directly from the brand's own heritage. This image shows the 1930 Blue Train Speed 6, a vintage model that serves as the historical anchor for the company's modern aesthetic. In July 2025, Bentley codified that history into 5 exterior rules: upright elegance, iconic grille, endless bonnet line, resting beast, and prestigious shield. By writing these down as strict criteria a jury can check, a designer's scope shrinks drastically. The job of the exterior designer stops being an act of pure invention. Instead, it becomes an act of adjudication, grading shapes against a fixed historical rubric. This brings us to what Bentley's new executive actually controls. His title is Head of Exterior Design and Design Operations. His authority isn't found in a sketchbook. It lies in his control over a 45-person team and the digital tooling they use to generate and visualize design alternatives. Here is a diagram illustrating the structural risk of this setup. One person now owns both the form language and the apparatus used to judge it. When the person who sets the creative target also operates the instrument that measures success, a weak early idea faces absolutely zero structural resistance. Consolidating that much oversight buys a studio immense speed and coherence, but it completely removes the independent check. This image shows the front of a Volvo XC90, which is relevant because Bentley's new exterior chief and their current design director spent over a decade working together at Volvo, developing exact lighting signatures like this one. When former colleagues reconvene at a new company, they reach agreement much earlier in the process. But early, on-the-record disagreement, when a proposal can still be altered, is the most valuable asset a studio has. The health of an automotive studio is never accurately measured by who sits at the top of the organization chart. It is measured by how many serious exterior alternatives they can build, light, and judge in a single week. Because design decisions are cheap as a sketch, but they are absolutely brutal once they are tooled into metal. Thanks for watching.